Hi, it's John here from Speedy Brick, and as you would have seen from my last video, I'm trying to learn how to use Lego Studio. So I've been building some digital models on Studio, and I've done some rendering, which is quite fun, and I've created some decals, so using Part Designer to create some decals and added it to my models, and I thought the process has gone quite well so far. I'm really happy with the two models I built like that, but I've still got a lot to learn. And so one of the things I wanted to learn is to make the instructions and to work out all the steps that you need to go through to get the parts building in order, and then the instructions making some sense. And then I want to put them onto Rebrickable and sort out the parts list and stuff as well. So I'm going to go through a bit of a process. So I've got my computer up and running, and I've got two different models, this one and this one, built in Studio. So I can show you those. So this is the first one. This is the little red car. And here I've gone through and organized everything in the steps. So you can see each step as it's being built, going through all the way. And from there, I've also made the instructions. So one of the things that you can do here is you can alter all the steps that are there. You can go and design all the pages. So here I really wanted to make something a bit different. And here I've done quite a bit of work already to kind of create a bit more of a professional, or what I think is a professional instructions. So here I've added some stuff to the cover. I've added a rendering that I used of the car itself. I've added my logo in there because I'm trying to promote my YouTube channel, and a bit of a description about the car. And then on the second page, I've told a little bit of a story about the concept itself, that these are about racing cars from the 1920s to the 1950s, and that it's part of a series, because I'll use the same story over and over again in each series. And then you can then choose what layout you want from each slide or each page, or you can have it standard across the whole thing. So in this case, I thought in the early stages I would have 2 steps, but you can choose how many you want, and there's a bunch of different options there. But for now, I've just chosen 2, and then later on I change it to 1. And now you can see where the pieces that you need to apply for that step are by this red highlighting, but it's not very clear. So you can actually change the location and the orientation of the image a little bit to make it easier to see. So it's these 3 pieces here. So we can just change the orientation so that it's a bit clearer that that's what we're talking about, those 3 there. And we can change the orientation in some, quite a few different angles and so forth for the camera angle. So anyway, I'm happy with that. And then right at the end, you can add in all the parts that you've used for it. And here I've got 2 pages blank, so I can insert here the bill of materials, and that will bring up all the parts. And here I can also create a bit more space around the parts, and maybe give it a bit more space. Maybe make it 2. It makes it a little bit nicer. So that looks a bit better. But I've lost my page numbering. So I added in page numbering to the manual to try and make it look nicer. So we'll just cut and paste and put that page number back. And you can see that I've just orientated it right to the corner, and I've made the box size 30 by 30. You can also change the orientation of where the text is in the box, but just to try and make it nicer. Now I've got an extra page which I don't need, so I can just delete that page. And then at the end of the instructions, we've got this kind of keep driving or happy driving kind of page. And so here I've put in there that's when I've created the instructions. I noticed that it says 2023, so that's clearly wrong. So I've forgotten what year it is already. So now it's I'm doing this on the 5th of January 2024, so I'll make that correction. And then on the last page, I've just added my logo. So now we can effectively export this whole document, and it tells me that I can save it in a specific location. So we're going to call this instructions. And I've already made one, so we'll just make another one, otherwise it'll be a problem. And then it tells me where it is. So when it pops up, I can open the folder, and that's my instructions. So you can straight away see that it's nicely done. So it's good. And we can now go out of that and go back to Studio where we were before. And so I've been busy starting the second one, and I'm nowhere near as long in the process as I was. And so you can see here, it's just kind of the early stages. I've reorientated some parts, but that's it. But if we want to go and have a look at what happens in Rebrickable, then we can bring up the Rebrickable screen. So here I've already created the submission for this, and I made some mistakes, which is all part of the journey. But you start off, you add in what your MOC name is, you create your theme. So you can choose from kind of all the various Lego themes. But I've decided to go with cars, and I've put in some text, which is actually the same text that I've used in the second page of the instructions. And so I'm reasonably happy with that. Make some small changes here just to make it a little bit nicer, and we can save and go to the next step. And here we can add in an image, and so I've dropped an image in here already, and I'm happy with that image, so I'm not going to change it. Then we can change this. So I'm going to delete those instructions, and so we'll delete that file, and then I'm going to go back and add in that new file that we just made. And so that is that instructions 2. Upload that one and upload it. Takes a little few seconds to go through, and then it will tell me that it's been successfully uploaded. And obviously if it's too big, then it's going to take a lot longer. But we can save that. You can go through here and say if it's a modification or an alternative build. So if you've got a Lego set that you're modifying, or you've got an alternative build for an existing set, I'm just saying this is a normal one, so it's a normal MOC. It does tell you gives you the instructions there, what you're allowed to do. And here I've already pre-populated the parts, but if we want to go through and have a look at how do you do that. So what you do is you export that list from Studio. So we go up to Studio, and up here on the top right hand side, you've got add to a wanted list. So if we click on that, it will take us straight away to Bricklink. It will give me a list or some options. Where do I want to create this wanted list? And here I've actually already gone through and created this. So I'll just go through and show you what the process is. So I've got here all the parts which are for the brown car, for the red car, and you can see all the parts are here. Now I can go and buy all those parts, or whatever I want to do, but I can also download it as a file. And so I've just downloaded that as a file. Go up there, and it's this file here. So it's an XML file, and then I can then submit this XML file to Bricklink. So here I can select a file. I'd need to delete all these parts that I've already got here now, but I can select the file here and that XML file, and then it will populate this list for me. You can also go through and using check mode to check off all the parts, and if there's any issue, it will tell you, it'll highlight and say this is a rare color, so you can choose. Now I've just picked that. It's just a random minifig head actually, so I don't really care what it is, but I don't want to go through the process of changing it either, because the last two other ones I tried also had the same problem. So, but anyway, so then I can save it, and I've already made some mistakes, so they've told me what steps I need to make to go forward, and I've made the changes, and I've sent them to Rebrickable, and hopefully it'll get published soon. So now I'm just going to finish off the instructions for this little brown car. And so once I've done that, then I'll be able to submit that to Rebrickable as a MOC, and see if that gets approved, and hopefully it will. And then once those two are approved, I will add the links for them to the description of this video. So that's a little bit about Lego Studio and creating instructions and posting to Rebrickable. I hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, bye.